some creativity.
Someone is telling design is creativity, design is projects. What else? Bringing different elements together. Yeah. Yes.
Planning before doing.
Sorry?
Planning before doing.
Planning before doing. So design means patterns. More thoughts? Yes, we all have different ideas about design. So, sorry? I didn't understand.
Shapes.
Shapes. Design means shapes.
Design means creativity.
Design means creativity. Huh? Yes.
Krishna is saying creating something.
Yeah. So design is all about putting your thoughts, giving an outlook of your ideas. Prapun is sharing.
Design means creating shapes.
Okay. Design means creating shapes. Yes. Today let us hear from
Design means creating a building.
Okay. Yes,
Design
yes.
means own creativity.
Okay. Yes, today Mr. Bruhad Buch is here with us to share about what is design thinking. So he is a coach and he will share about design thinking and how he is transformed, how he has transformed his life toward taking design thinking in every step of his life. Let's warm welcome Mr. Bruhad to our Aarohi community.
Leela, you want to quickly brief the format? There are some of them.
Hi, Bruhad uncle.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. So today's session format will be first 20 minutes Bruhad will share through his journey about design thinking about himself, and you can all have your questions in your fingertips or in your note, and then Bruhad will also be inviting you all to answer in between also, but keep your questions with you and we can ask later. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. And finally, we will end with the thought, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, over to Bruhad. Bruhad, you want your screen to be on?
Yeah, I'll just do that. Yeah, just give me a minute.
Yeah.
All right. So, very good morning to everyone. I hope I am audible to all of you. And I welcome all of you to a topic that is very, very close to my heart, which is design thinking. This is a small bit about what I do, who I am, and I don't want to really spend a lot of time in introducing myself because it's about the topic. And if you want to know about me, of course, you can Google my name, or you can go to LinkedIn or Facebook and just type my name and you'll find everything about me. All right. So very good morning to all of you and welcome to Design Thinking. So before I tell you what design thinking means, that was a very interesting question on the slide, which was asking what is meant by design. And I appreciate all your thoughts and ideas, but think about this, all right? Design is to design the design of a design. So what do you think is design? And to do this, I'll give you a very small example. I was, I was conducting a session in one of the premier institutes, all right? And of course, they called me to speak to the management students out there. And when I was talking to them, what they were asking me is, sir, how can we build our careers? what is it that we should do? Should we do science? Should we do commerce? Should we, go ahead as a, a bachelor's? Should we do a master's in guys, you need to mute, please. I'm able to hear a lot of sound from the background. All of you, can you please go on mute? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right. So the students were asking me, what should we go ahead and do? Should we do BE, BTech? Should we do BSc? Should we do MSc? Should we do MBA? Should we do this? Should we do that? And all of that. And I gave them a very simple example. And now I want you to think of this example. All right. Think that you want to build a house. Okay. Somebody said design is about building a house. All right. So when you want to build a house, you have created a plot, already you've purchased a plot, which is an empty plot. What will be your steps? So you've created you've purchased an empty plot. Now you have to build your house. Quickly use the chat box and tell me what will be your step-by-step process. So what is a plot? A plot is a barren land wherein you're going to construct your house. So how is it that you will, go ahead and actually build the house on that barren land? What will be your steps? All right. So collecting materials and tools. All right. Achalesh, I want you to take a step back. Kanchan, think what I want and create a design. So you mean you will create a blueprint. All right. Kanchan, I want you to take a step back. What will you do before you create a design?
First, we have to draw. We have to map the house how we want to build.
So before that, Parinita, you're absolutely right. First is you check the area as to how big the plot is. All right. And based on that, your thinking will start.
And check your surroundings. Check your surroundings.
So yeah. So Achalesh, the needs will be covered. Absolutely. So the flat ground is already there. Bindu and Anushka, the flat ground is already there. So now you have checked out the area of the flat. You have thought what you want. You have designed it on paper. Okay. What will be your next step? So after the design is created, after the design of the house is created, what should be your next step?
Designing it inside.
So what will you do when you want to go and design it inside? So when you're making a model or when you are going to design the house, will you say that, okay, let me first make the door and the toilet. Let me start living in the door and the toilet, and then we will make the rooms after 2 years. Will you do that?
First, you should design the project. No.
No. What will you do? You will first create the entire house, start living in the house, and then make the small changes that you want to make. Is that right?
Yep.
So I have one thing. So when you're done with the blueprint, you can take the miniature size and put it on the actual size on the plot. And then from there, you can start building slowly to the
Absolutely. So after all of that is done, when you actually start building, so that's a nice point. That's a nice intervention that you brought in. Once you start making, will you make room, then stay for 2 years, then make another room, stay for 2 years, then make the toilet, stay for 3 years? Will you do that?
Well, in my case, I think I would first start with the walls, and I would make all the.
So basically, you'll build the entire house, right? You can start off from anywhere, but you will build the entire house and then see what tweaks you want to make. Is that right?
Yes.
Right?
Actually,
now this is
bringing a point, make the model.
Right. So this is what is actually design thinking. Let me type again what design means. Design is to design the design of a design. So while you're talking about creativity, while you're talking about a process, while you're talking about steps, while you're talking about something like a model or a prototype or something, all these are aspects in a design thinking methodology. Design thinking is a way of life. It is a mindset. And when I say it's a mindset, how do you define the word design? So design is a general concept. What do you design? You design an activity based on a plan to reach a desired outcome. Listen to it very carefully. Design is a general concept to design an activity from a plan or an intent to reach the desired outcome. So now, when you are thinking about your life, I always believe mam niyatam niyachami. Do you know what that means? Mam niyatam niyachami. You know what that means?
I think it means what I think I am. Or I create
Okay,
what
it's a
I
little
think I
beyond
create.
that. A little beyond that.
I think, hence I am.
Sorry?
I think,
Mam
hence I
niyatam
am.
niyachami. Hence I am. All right. So it basically means to control your destiny. So I am in control of my destiny. And when you say I am in control of my destiny, you make a belief statement. And design thinking is nothing but a belief, nothing but a mindset, nothing but a human-centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate the needs of people, business, and upcoming technology. And that is what is meant by design thinking. Many people know design thinking in many different ways. And this is where I'm going to play a very small game with all of you. And this game is called as myth or fact. Okay? So, myth is an illusion or it is not the truth, whereas fact is reality. This is the truth. Okay? I'm going to be saying certain statements and you will use the chat box and type down whether that statement is a myth or a fact. All right. So let's go with the first statement. All right. Design thinking is a step-by-step process. Is it a myth or is it a fact? Fact, 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 fact. Okay. Bawal is saying myth, others fact, 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 fact. Okay. All right. So this is your first myth buster. Design thinking is not a step-by-step process. Design thinking is more of an iterative process, and you can pick up any step from anywhere and start running design thinking. I'm sure all of you have Googled by now and you know that design thinking has 5 steps, which is empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. And your question will be, if we don't empathize, how will we define a problem statement? If we don't define a problem statement, how will we ideate? If we don't ideate, how will we create a prototype? And if we don't prototype, how will we test? But this is where a designer's mindset comes into the picture, wherein you first start thinking as to, is this empathy really required? Do I already have my users in front of me? Or is it that I have to go and search for my users? Can I create something right now which can help me to think and tweak things 10 years, 15 years down the line? And this is what is the first myth that I want to bust, which is design thinking is not a step-by-step process. Design thinking has something called as explore. And explore as a step comes in between those 5 steps because you keep exploring, going back, keep exploring, going back. There is also a step in design thinking called synthesize. And that is what most design schools do not teach you. What is synthesizing? How is synthesizing done? All of that I generally do in a personal coaching session. This is not for that. But what you need to understand here is design thinking is not a step-by-step process. All right, let's look at the next statement. All right, design thinking can only be used for creating new products. Is it a myth or a fact? Okay, we got a lot of myths here. Quickly, quickly, you gotta type fast. All right, so this is what you've got, right? So give yourself a pat on the back. Yes, design thinking is not only for creating new products. It is used for even your existing products or services. It can be also used for changing your life. And I will be sharing you a story of mine which will make you realize that it can be used in your personal life as well. All right. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Design thinking produces faster results. So if you implement design thinking, you get results very fast. Is it a myth or a fact? All right, guys, I need you to type faster. Is it a myth or a fact? Design thinking can produce faster results. All right, so we've got two facts. The others are myths. Ah, Krishna, this is not about myth or fact. Of course, there has to be one of the other. So you have to tell me whether it's a myth or whether it's a fact. All right, so design thinking does not produce faster results. So what I said was a myth. It is not a fact. All right. What you need to understand over here is that design thinking is a methodology which uses long-term thinking. The processes or the steps that are in between the design thinking piece can give you faster results, but it need not necessarily mean that you get faster results when you do design thinking. So you have to have patience when you implement design thinking, right? Okay, let's look at the next statement quickly. Design thinking is not about what it looks like, but about how it works. Is it a myth or a fact? Design thinking is not about what it looks like. It's not about what the product or the service looks like. It's about how it works. Is it a myth or a fact? All right. Kanchan says myths, others are fact. Actually, saying myths. Okay. All right. So basically, it is a fact. Yes, design thinking is not about what it looks like. It's about how it works. So let's say you are given an option of changing the, the shape of a bottle. And if you want to change the shape of a bottle, a triangular bottle is not design. It is one of the parts of design. How you get through from that circular shape to the triangle shape is something that uses design thinking. And that is what design thinking is all about. All right. So let's take last statement over here. Design thinking as a methodology is human centric. So in design thinking, we take the user and then we implement design thinking. Otherwise, we don't really implement design thinking per se. So is user important in design thinking? Is it a myth or a fact? Design thinking as a methodology is human centric. All right. Quickly type fact or myths. Fact, fact. Absolutely right. Yes, it is a fact indeed. It is a fact indeed. And that is what happens when you think about design thinking. Design thinking does not deal with things. It uses humans, and whatever the human beings need is, that is how the entire journey will be decided. So talking about journey, I'm going to be sharing a journey of a small boy. All right. Now this boy was born in the state of Gujarat. All right, in a place called Baroda. and this child was not really very good with academics, right? So this child was okay. The maximum percentage this child got in his entire career was around 50-55 percentage, all right? And there was a lot of pressure on this child. The pressure was that the child's mother and father were academicians, and global directors in different organizations. So there were a lot of expectations from this child to score big, to do something with his or her life. Now, what happened with this child is this child used to think very differently, all right? And this child, while he was growing up, he faced a lot of problems when he was talking to his friends, or he was talking to his colleagues, or he was talking to his professors, because the professors and the friends felt that this is the child who does not know what is it that is required to grow up in the ladder. This is a child who doesn't know proper English. He or she cannot speak proper English, and that is where this child will not do anything in his life. This child struggled throughout his education till standard 10th, and when he entered standard 11th, he went into a very premium B school. After getting it through by passing an entrance examination. And he said he thought he will work very hard, but when the things were given to this child, the child struggled miserably, and the 55% became 35 and 40%. So by the time this child completed his graduation in commerce, the child had a score of 48%, which meant he could not give any common entrance exam for MBAs. He could not appear for any of the premium institutes of MBA. He could not appear for any job which requires probably a doctorate, or could not pursue doctorate, because he did not have 50%. Now, that point in time, this child came across this concept of design thinking, and he took admission in a private college. So he took a loan, and he went into this private college. And he said that I'm now going to improve my English, and I'm going to make myself so good that I will be able to at least talk to an audience and convince them that I am equally good as the IIMs or the XLRIs or any other premium institute are. So he struggled through 8 years. He took 8 years to transform himself into another person, and he faced rejections on the go. But when he entered the corporate sector, the first thing he thought was, how do I design my career? And the question that was asked by the child to himself was not what I want to do, but how do I want to be known? This child said, how I want to be known is I want to be known as an influencer. I want to be known as an author. I want to be known as a person who can add value to people's lives. And this is how I will design my entire career. So he started with sales. He slowly moved from sales to human resources. From human resources, he moved to learning and development, which is a part of human resources, but he still went into learning and development, then into organizational development, and then he started his entrepreneurial journey around 3 to 3.5 years back. The people who used to mock him, the people who used to make fun of him, the people who said he will do nothing in life, are the people who are now asking him for a job, who are asking to collaborate with him so that they can do business with him, because he has managed to achieve some bit of what he had thought 15 years back. And do you know who this child is? If you know, please put it in the chat box. When you listen to the story, who do you think this child is? Any idea? Yes, Mukunda, this child is actually speaking to you. And that is the beauty of design thinking. It has been an uphill struggle. It was a real struggle when the entire world is against you. The entire world feels that you cannot do anything. You are the most useless person in the world. And that is something that pinches when you do something. And this is where design thinking helped me. You remember I told you something about design is to design the design of a design. So how did I design my career? It was very simple. The first thing you do in design thinking is you don't focus on what is the right answer. You don't say what is the solution to this. You go by what is the right question. What is the right question? What was my question? Is my question that what do I want to do in life, or what is the career that I want to choose? Or is my question, how is it that I want to be known by people? And when you change the question, the answers automatically change. To give you a very simple example, 3 to 4 years back, I used to weigh around 145 kgs. Can you believe that? All right, I used to weigh 145 kgs, and I wanted to lose weight. So I went to these, these dietitians and nutritionists and all of that. And they gave me all sorts of diets, and I did Zumba, I did aerobics, I did this, I did that. I broke my leg, I had a ligament, and I had all of that. And then I decided that I'm not going to be doing all of this anymore. Because what is my real problem? What is my real question? Do I really want to lose weight? Do I really want to lose fat? And these nutritionists talk about visceral fat and this fat and that fat. I don't want all of that. What is it that I really want? So I went to a friend of mine and I said, all right, you also are a design thinking practitioner. Let's sit and brainstorm. And I said, all right, see, my real problem is that when I'm conducting a session, I feel sleepy when I'm conducting the session. And that is something which is dangerous. In the afternoon batch, the participants are expecting you to be energetic because, they are expecting you to, bring in that energy, bring in your soul, bring in your heart. So my question or my challenge is not to lose weight or lose fat. My challenge is to bring in more energy in that second half so that I can infuse that kind of passion or the energy in the participants. And I started thinking again, saying, all right, what is the right question? The right question is not about losing weight. The right question is about gaining more energy in those 8 hours. I can do the rest of the things later on. As soon as I changed that, I went to my friend again and said, how do we actually put this in a way that I can get more energy? So there are 4 things that I did. The first thing that I did is I started eating systematically.
Hello,
Which means 8:30 to 9 is absolutely a heavy breakfast. All right. Guys, please be on mute. Please be on mute. Yeah. So I used to have very heavy breakfast between 8:30 to 9. All right. Then I used to have lunch between 12:30 to 1. Okay. I used to have a small fruit or something like that at 4:30. And I used to eat dinner before 8 o'clock. This was my pattern. All right. The second thing I did is I started having lukewarm water after every meal, saying that what will happen with lukewarm water, not warm water, not hot water, lukewarm water. When I did that, my unsaturated fat started going down, right? The third thing that I did is I started thinking and waking up early. So I'm a very lazy person, let me tell you, all right? So I love sleeping and, I can sleep for 12, 24 hours a day. But I really thought of, why don't I get up early in the morning and do some brainstorming? So the first thing probably, any kid does today or, any parent also does today is get up and first thing is look at the phone screen. I don't do that. I get up in the morning and go to my balcony and I just look at the greenery outside and think of what is it that can be done which is different today. What do I do differently today? And the fourth thing and the most important thing is I sustained this over 3 years. I lost 40 kgs in 3 years without any exercise, without any diet, without changing my lifestyle a lot, without doing any such major thing. Design thinking is all about what is the right question and not about what is the right answer. All of us in our lives will face certain situations wherein we are always faced with questions as to what do I do next? What is it that I should do next? What is it that I should really go for? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I blah, 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 blah. And the first thing you got to do is step back and ask, what is the right question? Do I really want this? Or is it that I want something else? And this is what I've always told all the aspiring students. Everyone says, I want a 10 lakh CTC, I want a 12 lakh CTC, I want a 20 lakh CTC, I want a 25 lakh CTC at the end of this thing. And, for kids, it is like, I want to have a car, I want to have a cycle, I want to have, a scooter, I want to have an electric bike, I want to have a PS4, I want to have an Xbox. But what is it that you really want? Is it that you really want to play the game? Or is it that you just want to be busy and you want to be productive? If it's about only having the game, it's not really a problem statement. The problem is something which is completely different. And I'll give you two beautiful examples, and then I'll leave this floor for questions. The first example is of a student who came to me. He was in the 7th standard, or the 8th standard rather, and he said that, sir, I am horrible with mathematics. And I don't really remember anything in mathematics, because mathematics is a very heavy subject. There were two friends of his who said that he has a problem with maths, but I have a problem with history. The other person said I have a problem with English. And I said, okay, all right, fine. So let's do this. All right, I'll teach you a very beautiful tool, and that tool is called as mind map. And when we started drawing the mind map, I said, all right, think about this, that you are creating branches of a tree, use different colors, and you start drawing those branches of a tree. And they said, what will happen with that? I like, don't tell me. Whatever you read, all right, whatever you understand from what you read, just put it in a mind map and put it in front of your eyes. Just display it visually. And you come to me after 1 month. And I said, but my exams are after 15, 20 days. I said, that's exactly the point. You are going to give the examination without my guidance, and then you're going to come and tell me whether it worked for you or not. So they went there, and they did all that. And these students who were saying that they do not like mathematics, they do not like history, they do not like English, they said, sir, I don't think we need tuitions anymore. We are in love with the subject. How did this magic happen? The magic is not the tool, which is mind map. The magic is the thought process behind that. When the students were talking to me, they said that we are not able to understand these things because we are not able to see the logic. What will we do with the knowledge of history? What will we do with the knowledge of English? What will we do with the knowledge of mathematics? And when I started explaining to them as to what is it that mathematics can do for you, what is it that history can do for you, what is it that English can do for you, they started understanding the logic of why these subjects are taught. And when they understood that this is how I want to go forward. So it's not about what is the right answer, it's about what is the right question. And I'm going to be ending this with a very beautiful story. I went to a friend's house, around 2-3 months back, before this COVID scenario started, all right? And, the child was having ice cream. And, the child came running to the father and said that, this is my ice cream, but it's melting. Can we not do something about this ice cream? And, the father said, child, we can't really do anything. The max we can do is, we can, put it in a box or something like that so that it stays. But child said, no, I want to have it in a cone. Why should I restrict myself to a box? And then I called the child and I said, all right, what do you think, my dear child? What is it that you can do in order to, have this ice cream not melt? And this child said that, can we not think of something wherein I can keep running, keep playing, keep watching TV and still have ice cream? So we laughed it out at that point in time, and the child went away and said, we will come back to you with an answer. But that got me thinking. Think about this. Who's the user over here? The user is the child. What is the need of the user? The need of the user or the need of the child is to have the ice cream wherever he or she goes. Why do you want to do that? Because you want to enjoy the ice cream while on the move. So can we not think of making or designing the ice cream to be more portable? And when you think about that, and when you go to different places, there are different ways in which ice cream is given nowadays. There are two biscuits in between which ice cream is given to you. There are cones, there are boxes, and there are different ways. But nobody has thought about this as to how do you design ice cream to actually not melt. And that is something that design thinkers will do. They will keep thinking on the go. So my dear friends, of course, I don't have a lot of time over here to go deep into design thinking, but I hope you've gotten the gist of design thinking. Design thinking is not about becoming a designer. It is about thinking like a designer. So how will a designer think? How will an architect think? How will somebody who wants to design something beautiful think? And that is what a design thinker is supposed to do. A design thinker is not supposed to just design. A design thinker is supposed to think, plan, make an intent, design an activity, and reach the desired outcome, because you got to focus on what is the right question and not what is the right answer, right? So with that, my dear friends, I will leave it to your questions. I hope I have covered a good gist of what design thinking really is, and I will open the floor for any questions that you may have. You can either use the chat box or you can chat with me. Yes. Or Leela, if you want me to cover something else, I can cover that as well. All right, so there's somebody called Afiti.
Sorry,
Yeah,
got it. Yes, now it is open for questions.
I like this one. Anjali saying, thinking on how to form a question to ask. Interesting one, Anjali. Very interesting one. Yes, Afiti, please tell me. Please ask your question. All right, Parinita is asking me, how can we start designing our day? All right, so Parinita, the first thing you want to answer over here is, what is the right question? What will happen if you design your day in the way you want to? What is it that you want to achieve at the end of this entire piece? What will happen if you start designing your day in a proper way? So answer that question first. What is the right question? Why do you want to start designing your day? What is it that you will achieve?
Uncle,
Yes.
you are talking so fast I couldn't understand.
Oh, okay. So I'm telling Parinita that how can we start designing our day? That is a question which is asked. What are you going to achieve at the end? What is it that you want to achieve? Why do you want to design your day? What will you get after designing your day? Okay, so Parinita says, so that I don't waste time. All right, Parinita, let me convert this to a positive statement. If you do not want to waste time, what is it that you want to do? Sure, Achalesh, you can share something at the end, yes. So Parinita, what do you want to do? Vimal, did you understand the point now?
Yes, yes.
All right. So Parinita, we are waiting for your answer. If you don't want to waste time, what is it that you want to do?
Do my interests, like what I'm interested in.
So you want to follow your hobbies, you want to follow your passion, you want to, ensure that you love what you do.
Yes.
Now, when you think about this particular thing, Parinita, the first thing you got to think about is, if you are not getting time to do what you love to do, the first thing you got to focus on is, what are the things that are coming in between, or what are the obstacles that are coming in between? Can you name 5 obstacles that are coming in between? Sorry?
Obstacles means it is.
So why are you not able to achieve what you are? So what is stopping you from, doing what you want to do? Or what is stopping you from really ensuring that you can follow your hobbies or follow your passion?
Uncle,
Second thoughts.
Yes, Mukunda, bolo.
Second thoughts.
Distraction and not focusing.
Okay, so one is not focusing. Okay. Mukunda,
Then,
1 second. Let me finish with them. Then you can say
Second
things, okay?
thoughts is one. Is second thought one, like it stops us. Again, if we think like second thought.
What is the
Like
second
if
thought?
we think of one thing and then again we think like, should we do this or not, like that.
Yeah.
and
True.
one more thing, Uncle.
Yeah.
I want to do dance mean my friend will play Lego. Then I distract that time. Okay, I don't want to do dance now. I want to play Lego, like that.
Okay. So when you think about those things, your friend is playing Lego and you want to dance, but you are getting distracted.
Yes.
What is distracting you? Is it the Lego that is distracting you?
Yes.
Or
That
Is
time I
it?
think what and all I can make with Lego. How I make like that.
So
Okay.
Vimal, what you need to think about is, what is the problem here? Is it the Lego that is a problem? Or
Yes.
is it you focusing on the Lego that is a problem? What if you do
I'm
not focus
focusing.
on what he is doing?
I'm focusing on the Legos a problem.
So if Lego is the problem, then you should stop focusing on the Lego. You think or imagine that there is no Lego, and then you start dancing and you will automatically start to dance.
Okay.
All right? Yeah, Parinita, can you tell me 5 obstacles?
I have a
Yeah, Mukund, 1 second. We will finish
Getting
Parinita and then we will take your
distracted
question.
and not focusing.
Okay, so now when you're talking about not focusing, where is the problem? What needs to change, Parinita? Does your thinking process need to change? Or does the external piece need to change? What needs to change?
My thinking process.
There you go. You got your answer. So if you think in the right way, you will be able to design your day in a better way. So you do 2 things, all right? One is you list down all the obstacles or all the problems that you are facing. Ask these 2 questions. One, what is in my complete control? Second is, what is it that I cannot control? Start working on what is it that you can control, and you will see a change in your life. All right? Okay, yes, Mukunda.
Yes, I'm done.
yeah. Screen share that time it was worked on design thinking. Did you all teach those people, or they just started design thinking, or did you teach
No.
the
So
design
the
thinking
design
kind of?
thinking started in 1960. All right, so that is the year which design thinking, the first time design thinking was found. In 1990, there's a company called as IDEO, that is IDEO. IDEO is a company which is formed by a merger of 3 innovation labs, and they came up with this entire ideology. I took my certification from the United Kingdom, that is England, all right? And when I was taught this concept in around 2002, 2003. So by the time it came to India, it took a long time. So 1990 is the first time when design thinking started getting famous. And now I'm teaching people.
Okay. Yeah. Can you read that first point? Is some IE something you told in US?
I will type it out for you.
That I. Yeah.
So I've
I
typed it
had
out
a
for you.
question. You told some. I had a question about those rooms. Some rooms you told that not
Yeah.
rooms. That question I have. I forgot the.
Which
yeah.
room?
IDEO. Yeah. I was going to ask like what is its full form.
So IDEO is it's called the innovation design something. It's IDEO is the full name. You can always Google IDEO out, and you will get everything regarding IDEO over there.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
No problem. All right. How can I overcome my laziness sometime? Parinita, same question. What is it that's stopping you from overcoming your laziness? So you used to postpone your work to some other time, and then you're not able to do. So what is it that you're supposed to do? If postponing is a problem, what is it that you're supposed to do?
Do some other work.
So either you don't postpone your work and say, if I have to do it at that point in time, I will go ahead and go and finish that off. I'm not going to keep it for later because I just can't do it. Or keep a visual charter in front of you which says I have to do this work on this day at this time for this particular moment, and you will be able to go ahead and do it. As simple as that. So again, what needs to change over here, Parinita? It's about your thinking process. you think that when you postpone, things don't work. So either you don't postpone, or if you're postponing, then ensure that it happens on that particular time. As simple as that.
How do I
Yeah,
answer?
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get your point.
I have a question.
One second, Mukunda. Leela also has a question. We will take Leela's question and then
After Leela's question, I'll tell.
No,
Sure.
no, I was just trying to support
I didn't
Pari's.
get your point, uncle.
Okay, Parinita, understand this. Okay, you want to do X, so you want to, let's say, finish off with your mathematics homework. Example, right?
Yeah.
If you don't do your mathematics homework today and you postpone it to, let's say, 2 days, there will be a problem because you will not be able to finish your mathematics homework. Correct?
Yes.
So what are the two options over here? Either you do it immediately, saying that I know that if I postpone, I will not do it. So you know that for us. So you have to be determined enough to finish that work on that particular day. That is one thing you can do.
Yes.
What is the second thing you can do? Is you keep a visual to-do list which says that I want to finish my maths homework by the 27th of September, 4 p.m.
Okay.
And when you look at that, you have to decide that I will do it. So the only thing you need to do is you need to decide. You need to do nothing else. Right? Yes,
I have a
Mukunda.
question. So, I have a question. This is
Yeah.
Pari again. How did you start designing your life?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, Parinita. When you think about what is it that you want to do with life, all right, there is something called as a purpose. Every person in this world comes with a purpose. What is your purpose? What will make you happy? What will make you peaceful? What is it that can help you to, achieve whatever you want to achieve? And that purpose is something that gets defined when you sit alone and think about how is it that you can think about your life per se. So what I did is, when I was getting rejected by most of my friend circles, professors, and all of that, the first thought that came to my mind was, how is it that I can, influence people to stay motivated, so that if anybody comes and rejects you, you should not feel demotivated. So that was my first thought process, saying that I have gone through this. I don't want anybody else to go through this. So that is my first thought process. The second thing I thought was, if I were to do that, how is it that I'm going to sustain? Because I need money to do all of that, right? I can't be just doing everything for free for everyone. So how do I do that? So I thought of saying, okay, how much money is it that I need to sustain in the longer term? So I sat with my father, my mother, and all of that, and I understood from them as to what is it that they used to do to plan their entire life. Once I understood that, I started planning and I started putting it in front of my eyes. All right. So I started drawing those characters, symbols, and colors and all of that. And when I did that, I got an idea that, okay, if I want to achieve what I want to really do, I have to first get in that financial security, which will be given by a job. And then slowly, once I have enough money, which according to me was X number of rupees, I will start my own business. And then I will start adding value to people's lives. And that is how I went. The first question that I wanted to ask was, how do I want to be known? So you have to ask yourself that question. How do I want to be known by the world? Do I want to be known as an influencer? Do I want to be known as a rich person? Do I want to be known as somebody who is somebody who is just enjoying life? How is it that I want to be known? And that should help you to determine what you want to do. Now, don't tell me that I want to be rich, I want to be happy, I want to be this, I want to be that. It cannot be that. You have to choose one. You cannot have all the 4 or 5. All right. So choose one, and then you can design your life. All right. So let's take some chat questions.
So I have a
Sorry,
question.
Mukunda, you had a question.
Is that?
Can I just ask a last
Mukunda, you
question?
had a question. Okay, I lost your voice.
Yeah, I have a question. That
Yeah.
whenever you told that like, why did you want to start designing? Like, why didn't you continue like this and then think like, I can study more, I can do this more, like that? Why did you just give up that and then start designing like that?
So one is I did not give up anything, Mukunda. All right, I continue to learn, I continue to study. So the certifications are a form of studying. So I did not give up anything. It is just the way I thought this is the way I want my life to go. And in the way, there are certain milestones that I kept saying that if I want to learn something new, I might as well learn from people who do not, give scoring or marks as a priority. But the focus should be on the learning of the subject, the mastery over the subject. And that is what excites me. Something that excites me, something that I wanted to do. So no, I've not given up on anything. I continue to learn. I continue to learn from youngsters like you. I continue to learn from seniors. I continue to learn from people who teach.
Yeah,
All
my
I
question.
chose a particular route. And there are hundreds of routes, out of which I chose one of the routes. You can choose the other route. So it's absolutely up to you. So designing is about choosing which path you want to go through and not saying that this is the right path. Again, I'm not saying this is the right path. There could have been multiple other paths also. But so far, the thought process is syncing with the kind of success that I'm getting so far. So that means I'm thinking in the right direction. And if it requires to be tweaked, I will tweak it. If it requires education, I will go back to education. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah, so my question is like, are you an engineer now, or else the question will be a waste?
Now, I am a commerce student. I am a commerce graduate, and I have done my MBA from a private institute, of course. And then I decided on certain things I wanted to learn, which excited me. And that is where the certifications come in. So assessment center certification, psychometric test certification, design thinking certification, then assessment skill certification, Six Sigma certification. So all those things are a part of the learning journey.
Yeah, so why didn't you go to engineering and why did you start design thinking? That was my
because, engineering never excited me. Science as a subject, I was never excited about that subject. I was more excited about creative fields. And in the creative field, I didn't want a process to restrict my creativity. With commerce, I got that, saying I can just think about anything abstract and go for it. Whereas with engineering, there is a certain process that you got to follow. And as a student, I'm not very good with those processes. So I thought, this is the best way to explore my strengths rather than, improve on my weaknesses at that point in time when I was a child. So that is why I did not go for engineering.
Yes, Bruhad.
Yes.
Yeah. Hope you have little time. It's 11:57.
Yeah, I have time. So I will answer all the questions in the chat later. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will answer all the questions.
Others, if you can spend little time, then there are a few more questions. Actually, 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
So Leela, let me take the chat questions, all right?
Yes.
How do I ask the right question to change my thinking process? All right, so Leela, the answer to your question is a question. Why do you want to change your thinking process? What is it that you would want to do to actually change your thinking process? And that will bring you, how do you ask the right question?
Can you repeat again?
Sure. So you asked me, how do I ask the right question to change my thinking process? Okay. So which means you have identified that you need to change your thinking process. Is that right?
Yes.
So if you already identified that you need to change your thinking process, ask a question, what is stopping you from changing your thinking process?
Okay. Yeah.
What is changing you? What is stopping you from changing your thinking process?
Yes. This was the question I was asking to support Pari's answer. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the idea. So when you understand where is the obstacle or when you understand where is the problem, your questions will automatically come. All right. Okay. Let's take the next one. How to use it on daily basis? Get habitual to use it consciously. So Anjali, the answer to your question is if you want to make it a habit, there is a very interesting book that I suggest you read. All right. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Let me just type it down for you. Now, this is a very interesting piece, and you can try this particular funda out, all right? It's called the 21-day challenge. The 21-day challenge is choose a particular habit that you want to make. When you want to make that as a habit, consciously practice it for 15 minutes every single day. Consciously do it. After the 21st day, it will become a habit.
Interesting. Thank you.
All right. But yeah, do read, Anjali, do read the book called Power of Habit. It's a brilliant book. It'll just change your world.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes. All right, Prapun Kumar, from your experience, what do you think about the seminars which are organized for students? Was it really a student's ask or eager to have such talk, or? Prapun, that's a very interesting question that you ask. All right. So what I have experienced so far is students ask for something else and they get something completely different in 85 to 87% of the cases. All right. Most of the pieces that I have seen from, which have been triggered as a business move, they were a typical business move. What you need to understand over here is sometimes students want to know something, but their questions are not something which everyone understands. So you got to ask the students first as to what is your real question. What is it that you really want to ask? And that will change the way you actually identify which seminars to do, which not. The problem today is that people are going by what is going on in the industry, and every student should undergo that. That's not the right way to groom any student per se. The right way to do it is to ask the students what is it that they really want to achieve, and that is how they want to go ahead and do it. However, alternatively, you can think of this as sometimes it's a faculty interest, and the people who are organizing it, they are doing a good job in identifying the right faculty for that subject, so that the students can learn something from that particular webinar or from that particular session. And that's how it goes. So it's actually both ways. But yeah, most of the times it is the mixture of an eagerness of a student and the interest of the faculty that makes the difference in the session. Prapun, I hope I answered your question. All right, Nandini and Advai, nice grilling. Who's grilling whom? Please tell me. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Vedant and Vishnu, they have a question. They have many questions. All right. Can you share a little bit about your book? All right. Vedant, it's a fiction thriller. It's a suspense thriller, and it's about a boy who comes to Mumbai with a lot of dreams, and one night he is facing a certain experience, and after that night, the entire scenario changes. So the girl he's fallen in love with has vanished. His friends have vanished. The people around him have vanished. And now he is in pursuit of what is known by the life of death. So he wonders as to, we've heard about life after death. We've heard about life and death. What is the life of death? And, then he goes on a journey to unfold things. And when the suspense gets revealed, it just blows his mind away. So it's a fiction suspense thriller. And, many people have loved it so far. People are wanting for me to make it into a film also. But I don't have a producer, so I don't have the finances to make a film. But yeah, if you do want to catch it, you can go to Amazon, or you can go to 24/7 Publishing Store, and you can just search for me on Facebook, and you will find the links. Or you can go to my website. I'll just type my website here. And you can go and purchase a copy for yourself. So it's about it's a suspense thriller. So yeah, enjoy that book, and do let me know how you felt about after reading that book. What have you talked about in it? Yeah, it's about a fiction. What inspired me? I'm a very creative and an abstract person, and I love writing. I love talking, so I love doing blogs. I write a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, which is self-help, which is changing mindset, which is about changing the way you live, changing the way you function, changing the way you can change your life You can, earn money if you want to. You can be more happy. You can reduce stress. You can relieve yourself of stress. So you can go and check my LinkedIn account, and you will find a lot of posts that I put. And I thought, if I'm doing that, I love movies. I'm a big movie buff. So I can do binge watching of series completely. And, I do Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hotstar binge watching. I love those pieces. So if I love to watch, I just thought, why not write something on it? And that's how I wrote about it. So what are the problems? The biggest problem was to pen down the thoughts and, be in a sequence, because it was getting very abstract. Every time I read the book, I get a new thought. So how do I control my thoughts and actually go ahead by finishing that book? So that is something that was a challenge, but it was interesting. Everyone should, I think, write a book, especially the children. If you like poetry, I can actually guide you to do self-publishing without spending a lot of money. So that's how I've done my research. I've burnt my fingers with publishing houses. I can actually help you to publish a book as well. So yeah, do let me know in case you're interested in writing a book.
That's interesting. That's nice, amazing, Bruhad.
And I will do it absolutely complimentary, all right? I don't
children.
want any penny out of it. It is just to help you. That's about it.
Yeah.
So Mukunda, brief story about the book. Yes, I just told you about it. But yeah, do check it out on Amazon. It's called The Life of Death.
Okay. Yeah, if you 1 minute, Bruhad. So let's I understand if others wants to have any questions for Bruhad about design thinking.
Leela,
or you want to know?
Yes.
Yes, Ganesh wanted to ask, and Vimal also wanted to ask. Vimal?
Yes.
Yeah, you wanted to ask something?
Yes.
Sure.
Uncle, from the beginning the class, you told us that what designing the building. What need first we should do that?
So when you're designing a building, the first thing you need to think of is what is the area in which you want to build that building. So how much is the space that you have? Second question you ask is, in that space, how can I design something which will be something that I like to live in? Then you draw the blueprint. It's called the blueprint. So you draw the design of the building. How many rooms you want to have, how many bathrooms you want to have, how many bedrooms you want to have. Once it is ready, you create a small model. This is how my house should look. Once you draw that model, you give it to an expert and then build the.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, Vimal, if you have more questions, you can connect with us also. Okay, you didn't understand the
And
session.
there's somebody called Create. Can you ask me book reading I am? All right, Mr. Miss Create, please tell me which book you are reading.
Bruhad, hi, this is Ratnesh. I think we will kind of conclude this session, and I wanted to express my gratitude. I want to share this with everybody. I just sent a small mail to Mr. Bruhad. I had heard him on a video on a Facebook, and I just sent him a small mail, and he so warmly immediately replied saying, "Why not? I'm more than ready." And when I spoke to him, he was more than keen to come and speak to all of us. So first of all, that warmth was so amazing, and thank you very much. And we all have got little introduced to it. I'm sure we will Google more, understand it more, and we would get in touch with you. You are, as you mentioned, you're there on Facebook. You're there for all of us, and we will get in touch with you if we need any help. So this has been amazing. Just the experience of just writing a small mail and you immediately responding shows a lot of things without saying what are those things. I think that warmth was so beautiful. Thank you very much.
Ratnesh, thank you so much, and I'm really sorry for extending the time which was allotted to me. Sometimes the topic is so interesting, and you love answering questions, so I just extended it. But yes, thank you so much, Ratnesh, for introducing me to all these wonderful kids. I don't know whether there are others in this entire setup or not, but thank you so much, all of you, for being with me. I think it's been wonderful. Ratnesh, thank you again for introducing me. And Leela was, kind enough to call me yesterday and explain to me everything. So, Leela, thank you so much for that.